What's going on, guys? So today we're gonna be working on Dory. The plan today is to be taking her motor out, and the reason I'm doing that is because we're gonna be putting the all-wheel drive transmission. Yet to find it yet. Still looking. I found a few people that are selling it for quite expensive. So my plan is to hopefully find one of the junkyard for $300-400. If worst case comes, I don't find one, I have someone locally selling one for $850. So it kind of sucks, but that's the worst case scenario it comes down to. So this weekend I'm gonna be going to the junkyard. They're gonna have a sale, Labor Day sale, which is 40% off anything at the junkyard. So what I'm gonna be getting is mainly it's gonna be the subframe from the all-wheel drive, either the Honda Element or the CRV, and I'm planning on getting the dry shaft and both of the trailing arms for the back and the differential. So I am gonna have a long weekend. So I already went ahead and took off my bumper, my intercooler piping, and the way I usually take this motor out, it's not like everybody does on their RSX or most other vehicles. It doesn't come from the top. The way I do this, I gotta drop it from the bottom, and the reason I do that because, so you can see, my engine bay is super tight here and super tight on this side, so it doesn't give me enough room to actually lift it up and take the motor out, because I do have an engine hoist, but it's just really difficult for me to take it out from the top. So what I do, I usually take the exhaust off, every other thing that can get in the way, and I drop it with the subframe, and then I get some little rolling cars and I back it out this way, so you can see it gives me enough room. But yeah, so right now I'm just gonna be starting to take off the exhaust and the exhaust manifold, and pretty much then work on my radiator. Start just pretty much taking everything out of the way to start dropping the motor to go down, and then just getting her ready for the all-wheel drive stuff, because I plan on doing it kind of quick, and I want to try out and see what happens on the all-wheel drive RSX. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start taking off the exhaust. So I do have to disconnect my fuel system, and as well as my harness from the ECU. So usually I disconnect it from over, plug it from the K-Pro, pull it in with all the harness, and literally just drag the whole thing this way. Tends to work out for me a lot easier. Don't recommend anybody else doing such a thing, because the way the car is set up is it's meant for me to work on it super easy. But yeah, let me get to it and start knocking things out. All right, so yesterday I didn't finish taking out the motors just because I had to go to Harbor Freight and get some of these little carts. I had a friend borrow it, and long story short, it never came back. So anyways, you guys saw me take off the exhaust. Espérame. And then I ended up taking the radiator just now. And the next thing I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna be taking off this motor mount and this motor mount as well. And after that, I will start recording again, so you guys give you a little update little by little. Alright, so I went ahead and took this mount off, and took this one too, two bolts in the back, and you can see, let me see if you can see, I'm able to move the motor a little bit. I got my jack under it, so what that actually helps me do, lift up the motor up, and it takes all the pressure from the motor mount bolts, so I'm able to take them off really easy. So my next step I got going on is I'm gonna be taking off this motor mount right here, and the one for the back of the engine, and that will allow me to. All right, so I ended up taking this motor mount right here. Actually, I didn't take it off. I ended up taking the bolt that holds it in, and then let me show the bottom. Ended up taking that bolt and this two, right? Let me see, that one, and that's for my rear motor mount. So what I'm actually gonna be doing right now, I'm actually gonna be lowering my subframe, and I'm gonna see if I can put a jack under it, and that will allow me to keep my motor in the air. And then I'm gonna get my engine hoist, lift it up, and then take it out this way. So it's fairly easy. The only thing I got left are some of the wiring for my battery, and then my shifter cables, and that's about it. And I just gotta disconnect my ECU from the inside, and we should be good to go. For the most part, usually when I do this by myself really quick without recording, it's taken me like 45 minutes to drop the motor, which is really impressive on an RSX because we have so much shit in the way. But luckily me, I don't have AC, and I don't have the AC compressor, and I don't have heater either, so it saves me quite a bit of time. But let me just finish taking up the subframe and disconnecting some of the other little stuff, and I should have the motor out in no time. All right, so it started to rain, and what I ended up doing, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the whole entire engine with the subframe down. I already went ahead and removed, what the heck is it, the bolts right there, and I removed all 4 of them. So the way I usually do this, I hold the subframe with 2 jack stands. You can see I got one here, and then I have the other one holding it this side, and then I lower one side at a time, and then I have this little things that I went about earlier, like I said, and once I lower enough down, it will on here, and it will actually let me back the motor up little by little. But let me go ahead and get this fool to help me back this thing down, and I'm gonna leave the camera going. So we got most of the stuff already halfway down. The last thing we got is the K2 and shifter cables that I totally forgot to disconnect. And that's about it. Suspension is gonna be sold to somebody else. I'm getting a brand new one. The reason I'm selling them, because I don't know if I explained it yesterday, because the springs are too stiff, and I like to just have something a lot more like OEM feel. But that's the only reason I'm taking it down with the whole entire thing. So here it is. Got this almost assembled. Is it coming out? Yeah, you gotta slide it back. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Got it all out. Appreciate my homie Tito helping me out. And that's pretty much how I do it. Take my engine out of Dory. See the whole entire thing out.
Oh, this is really good.
She's on there.